All right, hello, problem solvers. Et120. I'll actually put that on here. This is Friday, 10:23. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from 2D to 3D. So these are kind of mind puzzles. But before I do that, we have a couple more graphics things to do. But I don't want to stretch this out any longer before I hold a midterm. So we're going to do a midterm next Wednesday. So hopefully that works in all your schedules. I guess reach out to me if it doesn't. But here's the calendar, and I have it here on exam 1. It'll be Wednesday evening, and what I'll do is I will put it up maybe at 6 p.m., and then you'll have until 10 p.m. to submit it. It won't take you 4 hours. It'll probably take you an hour to 2 hours. And it'll be over everything that we've done in class, so starting with the very beginning lettering and then moving through the sketching techniques that we've covered, including this one. So you'll have this to work on, and then I'll have time to give you feedback on it Monday, and then we'll do our exam on Wednesday. So what I'll need to know is if that time does not work, you'll have to email me, and we can set something else up. So it'll be a regular exam where you open it up, and then you'll get 2 hours to do it, but you have a 4-hour window to start. So you could start as late as 8 and then still have your full 2 hours till 10. So that'll be next Wednesday. All right. What we're going to do now is kind of play with our head a little bit and try and get used to this 3D, 2D concept of creating sketches. So what you've been doing is using a three-dimensional object to create the front, top, and side view. What we're going to do now is we're going to work with a front, top, and side view and try to create the 3D image in our head. So these are mind puzzles, and it takes some technique to figure this out. But once you do a few of them, yeah, it's rather fun. I think it's super fun. So that might be just my quirkiness. Sorry about that, but they are puzzles. So they are on page 162 in the 7th edition. So you have to search this out in the 8th edition. But it looks like this, a full page of these things. And they are front, top, side views. They also have missing lines. So with these problems, the first thing you want to do is try to figure out like where the missing lines are, okay? There's only one missing line typically, but, and it could be a hidden line, it could be a visible line. So you first have to figure that out, like where is it missing? And the way you do that is projection. You think about one view projecting to another view. And I have chosen number 2, and I've already sketched this up. So this is what you'll do is, I think you're doing 3, but look online to see that for sure because I'm not fully remembering. I'm doing number 2, so I sketch it exactly as I see it. And then down in the directions, it says, I don't know if I can get that to you or not. No, I can't. Maybe I'll just zoom it up. It actually says missing line, sketching problems, sketch the given views, use layout A1, so that's the layout we've been using all along. A size paper is 8.5 by 11. I want you to do it freehand. On graph paper is fine. Add missing lines, and they do say plural, but I think most of them are just missing one line. The squares may either be, the squares I don't care so much about, just count them. And you can do like I have done, make them small on your paper if you want. Or you can go 2 times and put your paper sideways, but that wouldn't work for me on this thing. All right, so let's look for missing lines. So we know that everything projects in all directions, like these lines here. Now I'm using a scale, but any straight edge would work. Here, I'll use something else so I don't confuse the situation. I don't have any small triangles, do I? Oh yeah, there's something here. I'll just use a protractor maybe. I don't even know where the protractor went. All right, I'll use a triangle. All right, so if we take a line, right, and we project it over, we see that this base projects over to the base on the right side view. Top projects over to the top, right, and then the right side of the front projects to the top. And all of these geometries are projecting. Now, the assumption is the projections are correct and the lines that exist are correct. So we're not going to change the lines that are given. So that means that this slot up here projects down here and it projects down to here. That's true. So anything you're given is true. So that means when you look at the top view, this space here, that's air. And there is no lines that go anywhere else. So we're not going to add edges, right? We're just adding missing lines inside. So let's look at this right side view. Everything projects across, top and bottom. So all this appears to be true, right? But when I look at the right side view, I see this and this. So that means when I look at the top view, there is a visible, from this side, there is a visible line here, okay? And that I don't see here. From the right side view, I see a hidden geometry, but I don't see this, what is that, right? Looking from the right side view, it's this L shape. And then from the top, there should just be some more geometry there, right? All right, so I think that maybe because I do see something, and it's here, two from the front, because remember, this is the right side view. This surface here is the front. This surface here is the back. So this is the back. And really, what you can do, I haven't talked about this, is you can make the 45 projection, which is pretty interesting. This is back to some, serious graphics, hand graphics. If you do a 45, right, so these two come together here. If you do a 45 at that intersection point, that can be a projection 45. So I can show you how that works. It's kind of interesting. But this back surface would project up, right, and then to it, to the back surface. That's how this 45 line works. Anything here would project up. This projects to here, projects to there. So that works perfect. This is something that is visible that projects up and over, but it doesn't show up. This is not visible, looks like. So there must be some kind of a line in there, right? Some kind of a geometry going on. I'm just looking at the back piece of paper here. And then it could be visible, like more than likely it is visible. Right? If it's visible here, it's going to be visible here. All right. So maybe that's one of the missing lines. Hard to tell. Maybe when I get the three-dimensional thing drawn, I can go over and correct any of the other ones, right? All right. Now, the big project is to draw the three-dimensional image of this thing. Like, what does this thing look like, right? It's 2D to 3D. That's the plan. So I'm going to try and scoot this over and keep it on the paper for you. Here's my strategy to doing this. You first want to draw, and I think I'm going to have you do isometric. You first want to draw the isometric box. That could be rectangular, not just square. Isometric box that will contain this object. That's your step one. If you've never done this before, step one. All right, so this is my front. This is my top. I know I got some air here. And this is my right side view, and I see this nice shape here, right? And from the front, I see this surface. And from the top, I see this surface. All right. So I'm going to first draw the cube. And I'm going to just start with my front view. It is longer than it is tall. So I'm going to draw that front off at a little, I'm going to make sure I stay on paper here. Longer than it is tall, but it's got some tallness to it, right? And then I'm thinking parallelism here. So that's this front rectangle. I'm not going for the inside geometry, just the shape. It's this deep, right side view. This is the right side view, so it's that deep. Oh, that was maybe a little too far, right? And I could actually use a scale and get this geometry better. I'm going to go up. First step is to draw the box that will contain the object, like that. That box, front view, top view, and right side view. Yeah? Front. Right. All right. Then you start sketching in what you know. And this is a big thing. I know this space exists, right? So in here, looks like it goes not halfway, close to halfway. But it's supposed to be like in the middle, which I'm close. Close enough. I can clean it up in the end. And it goes all the way through. And I'm doing this really light, right? But I know it comes all the way through. So what I do is I start to erase things out. Like that helps my eye see what I know. Now, I know it's not just two straight lines, or in their front view, it would be two straight lines. It's not. It comes down and it comes up. Comes up and it comes down. And it goes across. It's supposed to be a rectangle, so I got my slot a little bit off. And it comes across. And this whole space is non-existent. So I'm going to start to like get rid of that. Right? Now I have these two here. And I have this space, which, it's going to be down in here somehow. This comes all the way across this surface back here. Comes all the way across. And then this must come back to it. So I haven't even looked at the right side view yet. I'm just still kind of working with what I know to make that front be this like Z shape, this Z shape. This must come down. This must come over. Right? So now I'm building this Z shape. And then it does something back in. It's like this here, right? And this here. That's good. Now, the right side view is supposed to be some kind of L shape. And then it sees a cube, and that must be this cube back here. So we see through and we see it. So I think I'm getting this. I just have to figure out how to finish this bottom part off. So this surface back here is halfway, right? So that I'm going to kind of do an imaginary line down here, and this can come down here, and then this would come kind of across parallel to that. I'm not going to draw it in because I really can't see it, but right in here it starts to show up, and then this comes over, and this comes down right in there. So if you just think about your projections, you'll kind of get that stuff right. But you do have to be careful. And then I would start to like clean this up, maybe get my proportions a little more accurate. But the front view, boom. There's my Z shape. There's my two cubes. That's looking good. Right side view, this and this. That's good. Top view. Let's look at the top. So here's that big, again, kind of an L shape. So I think I got that right. You do see this right here, right? This line coming in. You see that from the top. But what you can't see is the surface going underneath. So what it does need is... So they were right. We were missing a couple lines, that one and that one. But I think that's it. This still looks correct. No hidden lines. This looks good. no hidden lines. This visible edge overpowers this hidden edge. Oh, we could use this coming down, right? Because this is, from the right side, we can't see this down here. It becomes hidden. So, tricky, very tricky. It's hard to pick up all of the hidden geometry and all of the missing lines. And these are the simple ones. Like if you look at the bottom of the page, they get super complicated. So it is a practiced skill. You're not going to be good at this from the get-go. It's hard to do. Practice it. Put up what you think. Look at others. See what they've put up. And then rethink your own, and then resubmit if you want to. So they're challenging. They're tricky. They're tricky for me to do. And I've done a lot of this geometry. But if you can do this, if you can create the 3D from the 2D, you are 100% in the right direction as far as getting to some good graphics and being able to see things in the real world. We do this all the time. We have to go from 3 dimensions to 2 dimensions, okay? And then when we get a drawing in that is 2 dimensions, we have to be able to go and make it a 3-dimensional object. That's our job out there in industry, is to make parts, right? Engineering technicians on the mechanical side make some parts. It's the same on the civil side. You're going to go from a 2D flat drawing of a land development that has contours on it, it has quantities of dirt on it, it has grades on it, and you have to be able to take this 2D drawing and do a 3-dimensional image in your head so then you can capture what needs to be done out in the field. All right, I think I have listed what you're going to do on Blackboard. Give those a shot. We're going to be heading for an exam on next Wednesday. Let me know if that time works okay for you. If not, we will reorganize and find another time that we can all do it. All right, take care, everybody.